Hi everyone, welcome to episode 6 of Little Storyteller Lee's Guide to Getting Hired. Whether we liked it or not, CVs in the past few years have become title soup. Manager and lead got flipped in seniority. Director and senior director posts have been few and far between. Many people at that level have been forced to take a step back or ended up in staff or principal level individual contributor roles. All this is about corporate delayering, the size of the company, the scope of the role, and the number of reports you have used to correlate quite well and be benchmarked by your pay and reflected in your title. But recently, the ability of titles to predict pay, scope, impact, and the relevance of your skills has become more fuzzy. There used to be 6 or 7 levels of seniority to rise through in an organization, especially the larger ones. Mid-individual contributor, senior level IC, manager, senior manager, director, and senior director. Sometimes there were junior or associate roles, making the first rung on the ladder. Now, we have only 4 levels, and that's including executives. Mid-IC, senior IC, the head of a function, and then the VPs. In parallel, there's an expert IC track with staff or lead and principal level roles. The result is that promotions are few and far between. And among technical ICs, what's considered as senior versus staff or principal level could vary wildly in technical complexity across different organizations. This is why titles have stopped being meaningful in both job search and networking versus what they used to be. The reason why orgs can be so flat is because entry-level execution can be outsourced to external agencies or contractors, and with agentic AI on the scene, routine functions can be automated. That means fewer juniors as well as fewer people managers. Above the execution levels, we have the managerial levels who are seeing their teams shrink, again because with AI, leaner teams are possible. We heard the term conscious unbossing when Gen Z came of age, meaning that they preferred doing work that they thought moved the needle rather than managing people. Now, the archetype of the player coach, where leaders must get hands-on, is also taking off in the form of head-off titles because AI modes of failure are deterministic. You can't hire and motivate away technical issues. So team leads have to be technical enough to roll up their sleeves and troubleshoot. For the same reason, director has become less preferred to head off and lead titles because of its hands-off connotations. So if title soup is getting too confusing, how do we classify jobs? An easier way to think of them is the how, the why, and the what's next. The beginning of every career is always about the how. Getting good enough at your domain knowledge to contribute is of top priority. And as AI takes away mechanical aspects of execution, the bar here will be higher and the nature of the day-to-day might be different. Moving on to team lead levels is about the why. By now, you're experienced enough to link your day-to-day with corporate priorities and identify which initiatives to pursue because they move the needle most. You'll also understand what good looks like and have a way to get there through mentoring your team and troubleshooting technical setups. Finally, the strategy level is about the what's next. I believe the challenge facing today's director levels is that in the past, when large teams were the key mode of execution, getting to director was the pinnacle of mastering the why and growing a team around the discipline. But now, strategy has been pushed to every level, making the director level about achieving a commercial success of substantial scale, which used to be a C-suite or exec level responsibility in the past. This is because AI can reduce a lot of risk in the how, which used to depend solely on expert mentorship. When prompts can produce decent, and the role of junior staff is to turn decent into good, a lot of what senior managers and directors did, which was to enforce standards on the team, will have to change. Thinking of jobs as how, why, and what's next instead of as titles takes away the notion that some jobs are considered better than others. Certainly, there's still hierarchy, But as the half-life of skills flatten out, the number of years between the levels is likely to get messier. And hence, leading with seniority is said to be passé. That's because when everyone is a beginner in our current context, expertise and the speed and quality of solutions might not necessarily correlate with years. So, knowing your domain and deciding whether you're currently on the how, the why, or the what's next phase will help you to sharpen your narrative and your options. I think there's both advantages and disadvantages to the inevitable flattening of the workplace and how we look at things. We must check our egos outside the door because people can jump between the how, the why, and the what's next in any direction depending on what the market needs and the combinations of skills that businesses are leveraging. Even at different stages within the growth of the same company, the same people may need to operate in different modes. It's a world with more flexibility, but the incentive to grow your expertise is now no longer status, but simply the chance to stay within the game. Above average competence is now table stakes when AI can be set up to carry the floor of capability. Next week, I'll talk about pay and what Sangeet Paul Chowdhury's reshuffle calls skill premiums. Stay tuned and bye for now.